Yes, guys, back doing another live stream, doing the Arsenal preview here for Man City's game tomorrow. Kickoff is 11:30 in the morning for me, Sunday, February 2nd. So I will be doing a live watch along, of course. So anybody wants to stop by, hang out, and watch the game with me, that'd be great. It'll be my, I don't know, third or fourth watch along, and they've all been really fun and successful. So, anybody who stops by, cool, appreciate it. But anyway, we will get into the Arsenal preview. First, there are minimal transfer updates, unfortunately. Nico Gonzalez still seems to be maybe hung up on some negotiations versus if City are going to pay the release clause. Seems like for me, you probably should pay the release clause if you want him, knowing that it is already February 1st here and the window closes in 2 days. Not sure that leaves much room for negotiations, but City have negotiated away from release clauses in the past. So I don't know. We'll see. There'll probably be more news after tomorrow's game, maybe throughout the rest of today. Not sure, but could be a deadline day type deal for Gonzalez. And maybe Cambiasso still is on. I haven't heard anything on that. Haven't seen much at all, but I don't expect the news to dry up at all. I think it'll be coming in pretty soon over the next few days. Now, Arsenal, Man City. Let's take a look here at the injuries for Arsenal. We are looking at Ben White missing the game, Tomiyasu missing the game, Bukayo Saka, of course, missing the game, and former Man City player Gabby Jesus, he will also be missing the game. Jesus has a torn ACL, I think, so he's out for quite a while, and Saka has some hamstring situation where he will be out quite a while as well. For City, the definite outs are Nathan Ake with a muscle injury, Ruben Diaz with a groin injury, Rodri, of course, with the ACL, and still Jeremy Doku. I'm not really sure what his injury is. It says he's listed as physical discomfort. So who knows what that is. But as I always say, Doku is never reliable to stay fit, so not too much of a surprise. We could see a return of Oscar Bob, which would be outstanding. I doubt he starts the game, but could make the bench, maybe see an appearance. At least I hope. I hope we see Oscar Bob. He was definitely one of our best players in the preseason, and is someone that I'm very excited to see play. Young guy, very talented prospect. The goal he had against Newcastle last year. So I expect big things from Oscar Bob. Is he back? Remains to be seen. The lineup that is projected for Arsenal in goal says David Raya, Lewis Skelly at left back, who of course had that red card rescinded, which probably was the right decision. I think the reaction to the red card was really over the top. Like, yeah, it was probably a bad red card, and they reviewed it and rescinded it, but worst referee decision of all time? I'm going to say probably not. Gabriel and Saliba will be starting, center back pairing, of course. Rock solid defense for Arsenal. I think Saliba is carrying an injury, so it's possible that he's, maybe not at 100%. And Timber at right back is projected. In the midfield, three is the usual: Declan Rice, Thomas Partey, and Odegaard. I don't think any three of these guys have had an exceptional season. Of course, Declan Rice and Odegaard themselves are outstanding players, but not sure they've had, overall as good a season as probably Arsenal fans would have hoped for. Now they get to the front three. Looks like Trossard on the left, Havertz up top, and Martinelli on the right is what's projected here on FOTMob. Now, maybe that's switched and Trossard's on the right and Martinelli's on the left. I don't know, but not an overly frightening front three. Hard to say. I mean, Trossard does do pretty well against City, but Havertz doesn't strike fear into anyone, and Martinelli's been pretty on and off this season. So, again, not someone that is overly worrisome to me. For us, let's see here. I'm gonna pull up the lineup builder so we can take a look at what I think will happen. So here we go. In goal, of course, we are gonna roll with Ederson. As long as he is happy to stay here, he starts for me. He is clearly our best goalkeeper. I think if you start on the left, it makes maybe an easier start. Vardiol, of course, without a doubt, will be starting. He has probably been our best overall player this season. World class at the left back spot, and just a Rolls Royce of a player, man. I can't get enough of Vardiol. What a player. Now, center backs, with all the injuries we've got, I guess you could see Kusanov or Vitor Rice. I doubt it. I would imagine we go with Akanji at the left center back role. And then, again, we will see back-to-back, maybe full 90s for John Stones, which is basically unheard of. But I don't really know what else to do. I'm not super keen on the idea of Kusanov starting here. I think John Stones played fantastic against Brugge, and he deserves to start. Now, whether he can stay fit, of course, that's another question, but remains to be seen. Right back is interesting because you have two options. You have Rico Lewis and you have Mateus Nunes. Rico has not been given starts a lot lately, and we've been going with Nunes, but he's just not been super impressive to me at right back, and I don't know what I expect. I mean, he's not a right back. He's not a winger. He's a midfielder who doesn't play midfield for us. So it's kind of weird. I imagine Pep will go with Nunes as just a more physical player in this right back role, and on the left, if it's Trossard or Martinelli, I guess we can expect Nunes to do better against Rico, who is more of a lighter frame and can get bullied a bit. If it's Trossard, maybe you can do Rico because they kind of have similar profiles. I don't know, but the only problem I have with this back line is when John Stones steps up into midfield here, and then it leaves this back three. I don't like Nunes here, personally. I would almost rather have, in this scenario, we'll do this, where it's a back four, and if Nunes is the one stepping up to the midfield, they're spread out this way, and Vardiol kind of stays back a bit, and that's the back three. I feel like that's a lot more solid than Nunes in back three. But again, you lose a lot when Vardiol's not the one pressing up, or when Stones isn't coming into midfield, because he was really good against Bruges. He had 2 assists, should have had a goal as well. So remains to be seen. This is just my guess. I think this is what Pep will probably go with. The midfield is interesting. I think Kovacic probably retains his place. He's been really good over the last week, bar the PSG game. He's been really good. So he maintains a spot. Now you could go with KDB Foden. You could go with KDB Gundogan. You could do Bernardo, KDB, Foden, Bernardo. So it'll be some combination of that probably. And I think the midfield kind of is picked based on what we do up top. I'm willing to bet that Omar Marmoush will be starting on the left. Thought he was great against Chelsea. Looked lively on his debut, and now he's had a week, 10 days, 2 weeks, or whatever the time frame is to get into Pep's system and figure it out a little better. So I expect to see Marmoush out on the left. Now, right wing, if Oscar Bob was fit and ready to go, I'd be starting him, but of course he is not at the moment, so the question becomes Foden here or Savinho here. Savinho was amazing against Club Bruges, so for me, I like the idea of Savinho over Foden here on the right. This is just my opinion, but this would leave Haaland, of course, starting at the 9. There is no one else to even consider. And then these two positions kind of remain open for me. KDB has to start. It's Arsenal. He always plays well against Arsenal. Man City put up the tweets of his 8 goals against Arsenal in his career. It's one of those teams he performs best against. And then, of course, you have Foden or Bernardo here. And, I mean, as much as Bernardo, runs around and everything, I'm going to go with Foden. He's in better form for me personally. So maybe what ends up happening is we get kind of a line like this. You could see where it's a 4-1-4-1, and Kovacic is the holding midfielder here, and Stones steps up, and then it is the back three, and that's just what we deal with. I'm not sure, but it just seems like we're going to need goals in this game. I'm sure Arsenal are going to score. We haven't been able to keep clean sheets very much recently, but this lineup gives me confidence we will be able to score 2, maybe 3 goals and hopefully we get Oscar Bob cameo off the bench. You have Jack Grealish on the bench. You don't have Doku to come on as a game changer, but it is what it is. You could bring on Bernardo at some point, or maybe Bernardo starts over Foden, or Savinho misses out and Foden goes on the right, and then Bernardo's in the midfield. It remains to be seen, but this is what I would hope for. This is what I'd like to see. It's more attacking. It's something that if I see the lineup tomorrow and I see this front 4-5 players, I'm thinking, man, we're scoring 3 goals probably, and that is enough at least to get a point. A draw is a good result for me, in my opinion. Love a win, but winning at the Emirates is going to be tough, of course. I think what I see is a 1-1 draw. That's my initial guess from just my brain. My heart says we're going to go there and dominate and win, because Arsenal, for whatever reason, don't like to play to win against us. They like to play for the draw for some reason. But with the table the way it is, they really need this win. And a win not getting a win doesn't do a huge amount of damage to us, because Arsenal are in second. We are in fifth at the moment, based on Newcastle's current winning of their game. This is live, so I guess Newcastle could end up losing, and we could be fourth tomorrow. But we are fifth on 41 points right now. A win would bring us back up to fourth on 44, level with Newcastle. But Arsenal, we would only be 3 points behind second place. And I don't see us pushing much further than that. I just think Liverpool are probably too good and too far ahead at this point. But, to me, fourth, third, second doesn't really matter based on this season. It's been a season of struggles. So it is what it is. If we get fifth and that's the Champions League spot, then as long as we're in Champions League for next season, I'm pretty happy. Now, a draw, we're on 42. We should be, depending on how Chelsea does, we could still be in position. So the only problem with that is going forward, we have a massively difficult schedule, as I'm sure all of you guys know. We've got Arsenal. Next weekend is not so bad. It's Leyton Orient in the FA Cup. And then we go Real Madrid. Then we go Newcastle, Real Madrid again, Liverpool, Tottenham. So, it's a brutal stretch of games for sure coming up for City. So a win would just be a great way to start it out, even if I will also settle for a draw. So yeah, that's it. I do appreciate anybody who stopped by. Leave a like or a comment, whatever. Let me know what you guys think the score will be, or your lineup. If you want, my Twitter is in my bio, of course. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for the live stream. Can't wait to watch it. I love it when we play Arsenal. And, I hope we go for it. Hope we go for the win. So, big up City. Appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow, like I said, live stream, 11:15 or so, 15 minutes